All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fab with Matt.
We're back.
We're back, and as always, I'm your host, Aaron, and I am joined by the Matt in Fab with Matt. You may notice...
Yeah, we got a new setup.
A new setup.
Yeah, whole new location, new channel as well. We're not on Channel Fireball anymore. We've taken it off, so we're in a little bit of an interim time at the moment.
This is obviously, you're viewing this on my YouTube channel, which isn't where Fab with Matt is going to stay, but it is where we are for this spicy little episode at least.
Yeah, we wanted to get the spoiler out and make sure that goes out on time, and we're still waiting for for stuff with the new channel, or
TBC basically.
TBC of where we're going. They weren't quite ready for us yet, so
but you know,
but I'm excited. I'm excited that for kind of what's coming with Fab, and we're Fab with Matters.
Look at us go. We've got a new plant.
Oh, true.
Welcome. We've
got an uncut sheet.
Got a nice uncut sheet, just so you know we mean business as content creators. But yeah, it's going to be fun. And to be honest, it didn't matter if we were ready and the other platform was good to go or anything like that, because Fab doesn't stop.
No.
Right? We are here because it's dusk till dawn. Release season. We have a spoiler for you guys. Which,
that's it.
Yeah, which Matt has already teased, and I'm going to put it out there. It's the spoiler I've been the most excited for, I think on any Fab with Matt episode. I think this is the spiciest spoiler.
I spoiled Command and Conquer. I was pretty excited about that one, but this is definitely is really cool though. It's definitely better than like any spoiler since then, I think.
We've had this chat before. To me, Command and Conquer, obviously a great spoiler because it's a great card. But you see that card and you go, all right, cool. A Majestic I need 3 of. This card is spicy.
Yeah.
This card really has a ton of talking points on it. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I don't think it's like a utterly ridiculous like broken card or anything like that, but I do think it's very good. I think that if you're playing this hero, this class, like you're gonna play this card almost certainly. And I think that it's really strong. It's got some serious application to it, and there's a lot of spots where it can be stupid.
Yeah. See, it is obviously really, really good.
Yeah.
It has potential for me as a card that I think it might cross over into one of those cards where people are like, this card is busted. Yeah. Whenever they sit down, I don't want to give too many spoilers away for what it is until we reveal it, but do you want to do the honors for you guys at home? I will put the spoiler thing that Fab gave us and you can read the little flavor text, but Matt, do you want to reveal the card to everybody?
Right, well this time LSS hasn't sent it to us in a nice little black envelope, so we don't get the fun of the first impressions.
Not that we're complaining, LSS.
No. And they sent us a digital copy before we got this as well, so we have seen it, we have gone through it, and we have thought about it, but this is the card. Obviously it'll be up on the screen there as well, but this is the physical card in all its beauty, and it's extended art cold foil there. It's stunning. Yeah, absolutely stunning.
Do you want to read it? You can walk through what it does.
Okay, so the card's name is Spoiled Skull, so it's a Shadow Brute equipment headpiece. And it has action, 1 resource, and banish this. Target 3 action cards with different names in your banish zone and choose one of them at random. You may play it this turn. Go again. So
wait, that's not all though. You're skimming over 2 key parts of this, because that's obviously the spicy part, which we'll get to. We'll talk in detail about that. But it does also have a couple other things stapled to the card.
Yeah, so it also has Arcane Barrier 1, which is great. So this is an Arcane Barrier piece. So it doesn't have any block value. So it doesn't. It's not an equipment that blocks, but it does have Arcane Barrier, and then it also has Blood Debt as I guess the cost to the power.
You're banishing it, so it's stacking up that Blood Debt. But it is Shadow Brute, so with
so Blood is whatever. It's
you're going to be able to turn it off. And we should say, me and Matt, we're recording this before spoiler season has officially started. So this is the day before, so we don't know.
We don't know the other brute cards
we don't know any
could
other
come
brutes.
along with
We
us,
only know what was already given to us in Monarch in terms of Shadow Brute stuff, and that's what we're sort of basing all of this off, along with all the regular Brute equipment and cards and things that we can play alongside it. But yeah, it is hella spicy.
It's really, really cool.
It is hella spicy. And so I guess break it down a little bit more, right? It costs 1 resource to crack it, and we'll touch on a bunch of different things. But for me, right off the bat, I'm like, the design of this card, I love how they've managed to get like some of the core tenets of Brute and Shadow design in a card.
Yeah,
randomness,
banish it,
like, you know, all sorts of different things with the Blood Debt as well. But it's put in a package that's actually good.
Yeah.
Because
which they struggle to do with Brute sometimes.
Because it's randomness with a choice. And you can talk, you'll talk a little bit more about this, but it's a random pick of 3 cards, but you get to pick the 3 cards.
Yeah.
Which is...
I mean, from your banish zone. So they have to have been banished throughout the game so far, but generally this is a card that you're going to activate late game. So you're going to have a pick of, you know, half, I don't know, 30 to 40, 50% of your deck that's been banished, you know, or whatever it is, right? You should have your pick of most things.
Yeah. And obviously you can manipulate what goes into your graveyard by blocking and things like that, so you can sort of navigate the game to a point. And also the reason why I think this card could edge into that, this card is absolutely busted whenever you sit down to play against a Leviathan, is it's an equipment, so it starts in play.
Yeah.
You can guarantee access to this ability, which is always huge. You know, we've seen things like Bloodsheath Skeleta and all of that sort of stuff. This isn't on that power level, I don't think, but it is really, really good. But I got one question. What was the first card you thought of when you read this?
Hands down Bloodrush Bellow, right?
Yes.
Like, I still legitimately believe Bloodrush Bellow is the most powerful card they have ever printed in FAB, and just outright the best card in FAB.
Has the highest ceiling.
It has the highest ceiling. Yeah. Bloodrush Bellow is the best card. Yeah. So when I look at this card that says 33% of the time, this is a 4th Bloodrush Bellow that you get to just grab at any point throughout the game. Like, oh my gosh. Like, if they'd printed a card that said, you know, grab a Bloodrush Bellow from your banish zone, like, it would be broken, to be honest. Like, the whole way that you beat, you know, like the hardest thing against Levier and against these brute decks and stuff is getting through all 3 Bloodrush Bellows, right? Those are the turns that they're pushing massive amounts of value. They're doing things way over the top, and like, you leak every time when you're playing against a brute deck. You leak against the Bloodrush turns, and you know, 3 Bloodrush turns usually aren't enough to kill you. You know, usually you don't leak quite enough to die off 3, but off 4 a lot of the time you would. You know, so already it's like, well, wow, I mean, that's scary.
Sometimes I've died off 2.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have plenty of times as well. But what I mean is, like, if you're beating the brute deck, usually it's because you haven't leaked. You've managed to hold on to just enough of your life total throughout those 3 blood rushes to not die, right? And if they have access to 4 blood rush, man. I mean, I lost to a brute in the Calling Auckland who. You know, did a couple blood rush turns and then Remembrance back their blood rushes and then did a few more blood rush turns, and then they just destroyed me.
Well, this is a good point, because I don't know if a lot of people would have caught that, because when I first read the card I didn't, because I think when you think brute you think 6 power attacks and things of that nature, but you read the card, it's just, I'm going to double check, it's just 3 action cards.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't misread that. So you actually can play things like Bloodrush Bellow and get them back off them, and it opens a whole
things like Tome of Findale, for example.
Yeah, well, that works perfectly with another equipment that
so
that brute has.
I feel like, if you have Tome in your deck, and you're a Tome deck anyway, like on a turn that you're rolling Scab Skins, if you happen to roll a 6 or 5 or 6 or something like that, and you've got this in play anyway, you can be like, well, I have the extra action point.
I'll take a 33% chance on a Tome of Findale.
Yeah, and hey, if I miss, I'll get a Blood Rush Bellow, or a Swing Big, or it's like, or you can get like you can pick like Tome of Find, our Savage Feast, which is also insane with extra action points, and then Blood Rush is a
Savage
third
Feast
one.
the one cost that's like discard, but if you hit a 6 you draw another card, right?
Exactly.
But off one resource, which is huge.
But yeah, it doesn't have Go Again, but that's a card that's really, really above rate when you've got extra action points, right? So like throughout the game when you're rolling Scab Skins for whatever reason, if you happen to roll 4, 5 or 6 at some point, you can be like, well, I'll just select Tome, Savage Feast and Bloodrush Bellow, and either way my turn's going to be nuts.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. And my mind's blowing just thinking about what brute players are going to be doing to us with this card. But I'm also thinking about how Mansant is going crazy, probably on the stream somewhere. So hello, you're welcome. But the other thing is, and it can just be a value play though, right? It costs 1 resource, which is always important, I think, when you have costs like this that cost 1 resource, because off a blue, which primarily is sort of your pitch cards, right? You want the most value off the card that you're pitching. So you're going to pitch a blue. This only costs 1, which opens up 2 resources spare, which plays into a whole slew of other cards that Brute have. Yeah,
so this is what I actually think is one of the best things about the card, like maybe even more so than the Bloodrush Bellow situation, right? Is that like late game, like, because it just sits and play the entire game, right? So late game, after you guys have been, slogging it out each other, both of you are under 5 life, like you're kind of getting to the end part, and they do like a really big turn against you, right? They do their final like push over, and you end up having to like block with 3 cards, and you can only keep 1 card. You can go down to like 2 or something and just keep 1 card. Well, the thing I think is most insane about this is in that situation you cannot fall behind, like fall too far behind, because generally like that's how decks kill you, right? Like they do a big turn at the end, they force you to block a bunch of cards, and then you only have 1 card left to come back at them, so you can like weapon them and they just block with 1 card, and then they can kill you, right? So with this you can turn that back on them. You can block with 3 cards if you've got this in play. You don't even need an arsenal, just 1 blue left over, and then on your turn you can activate this. You can choose Swing Big, maybe like Slaughtering Hunger Beast, which is like a 7.
Or Hungering Slaughter Beast.
Hungering Slaughter Beast.
Don't worry, he hasn't been a brute player, but he's going to be. He hasn't been a brute player, but he's going to be.
I've often talked about getting into brute. Like, no, seriously, like I do like the class. There's just too much randomness to it, and it really needs a little bit more power to get me there. And this might be it. This might get me over the line,
Well, I think this might get you over the line, but I'm smelling some bullcucking on you almost playing brute in a tournament previous to this.
I've played brute and blitz.
Oh, that doesn't count. Blitz isn't a real format. No, I'm just joking. I love some Blitz.
Anyway, so where I was before you rudely interrupted.
So we got to Swing Big, Hungering Slaughter Beast, and then
like Command and Conquer, right? Yeah. So like right at the end of the game there, they do their big push. You block with 3 cards, and off 1 single card, 1 single blue, you can represent either 8, 7, or like 6 with an on hit.
With a brutal on hit, right?
Like Command and Conquer is pretty big, right? And so like you can turn and force them to block, like if they're on 1 and you get an 8 power, like they have to give you 3 cards now, and then they only have 1 card. They swing back with the weapon, you block 1 card, and then you've got 3 and you kill them.
The other thing that I really didn't like about playing Leviah previously is that exact situation you're talking about. When you played Leviah, if you were left with the 1 card, it was impossible for you to really turn off your blood debt.
Yeah, well that's the other thing,
now it's
right?
Like, it doesn't even need to be a swing big. If you're in a position where you just need you get to represent an attack and banish a 6 to turn off blood debt, that's even higher. This is like the fail safe that I feel like Levi didn't have in the late game.
Yeah.
Whereas like this gives you that 1 card option where you can still happily block where you need to, and then 1 card pitch, get a 2-cost attack and banish. So like in that spot you can just search up 3 of the attack actions that banish 3 cards, right? So you can present 6 plus damage, 7 if it's Hungering Slaughter Beast, or 9 if you have a tunic counter and you go for Endless More. Like you could present 9 off 1 card, like and turn off blood debt, right? That's insane.
In that spot you can literally block 3 cards, which usually kills like kills Leviah before having a block with 3 cards, and then off 1 blue you can grab something huge, turn off Blood Debt, and then force them to block with cards too, so you can keep, turn it around.
Yeah.
So
and I guess one thing which we should know, and I am a level 1 judge, but I'm assuming I believe this is how it works. But correct us, hit us up in the comments if I'm wrong and way off base. But the card that you've played, when the combat chain closes, it's now going to go back to your graveyard. So obviously balancing your graveyard and 6 powers in your graveyard is actually a thing for Leviah. So it's probably the smallest part about this card. But when you bring a 6 power back
and attack them with it, you're going to have another one in the graveyard afterwards.
6 power in your graveyard.
Yeah, I believe that is how it works. Yeah.
Similar to like Rattlebones and a few other cards, but it's like obviously that is another layer where it gives you other options and potentially you can set up to bigger turns down the line, and you actually have a resource on hand now which starts from play, which allows you to better set up and plan these sort of things down the line. So you can get back Mark of the Beast as well as another way to just turn off Blood Debt. But yeah, obviously Endless Maw is huge, Swing Big is ridiculous, like that card's just so above rate. 8 damage off 1 blue in the late game is just silly. And then well, I think it's actually been talked about, and we can bring it up because James said it to the Leviah player himself, Mansant, is that Swing Big is potentially the biggest mistake they think they've made in design. Like, it's out there, that conversation. So a card that allows you to have 33% chance of getting a 4th copy of that.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's pretty big. And this is the crazy thing. We're discussing this only off the cards we know now. We've got a whole supplementary set coming, and if they're printing equipment like this, I'm assuming you're going to get at least one more decent majestic attack or even non-attack action from Shadow that you're able to make use of.
Yeah, I think another thing I want to talk about this card and like the things that you can get. So obviously you can name things, you can do Blood Rush, Bellow, Dread Screamer, Swing Big, and just
Dread Screamer is also a really good utility piece
for a big go wide turn. So like there's those cards that are just, everybody knows they're really powerful and you can select 3 really powerful cards. Then there's like ways to do big things off just 1 blue or whatever. But there's also ways for this to just kill them. Just be a finisher. So like, there are quite a few things that you can get with Dominate, right? Pulping costs 2. You can pulping them off 1 blue. Literally 1 blue is like activate this. You can select like 3 2-drops that have Dominate, that can get Dominate, right? So you've got what are the
Withering Beast Hulk? I think I took some notes.
Yeah. Withering Beast Hulk. So all you have to do is banish a 6, so you can make it so that pretty much always has Dominate. Pulping, which will have Dominate a decent amount of the time because it's draw and discard.
And even another card like Nourishing Emptiness.
Yeah, Nourishing Emptiness. Well. There you go. And that card is fantastic in Leviah because you're clearing your graveyard so much. So you can clear creatures from your graveyard and it can have Dominate a lot of the time. So like those, all 3 of those are 2-drops with Dominate that you can do just off 1 blue with this card to kill them. So again, when you guys are both down at that 1-2 life or something, they do their big turn. You can block out their turn, just leave 1 card in hand, and then just go, well, pop this, grab a Dominator, kill you.
Yeah. One of the things, like, I'm a brewer at heart. I like to brew a deck or 2. Yeah. And the thing that really excites me about this, and I'm hoping we see it pan out across the rest of the Dusk Till Dawn set, is that it asks some really like new and interesting questions with deck building. Right? Is that you can, play things like Tome of Fire Elf, or like the Scabkin's turns. We're talking about smaller Dominate selection, things like Nourishing Emptiness, right? Like utility pieces. I can't believe I'm calling Command and Conquer a utility piece, but like, on hits, or even things like the Blood Rush Bellow. And these are all things that I don't think you're going to be able to jam into one deck. You're going to have some focus, but the question is like, which one's better in certain metagames and ways to explore. And I really think this is something that the Shadow Root class was kind of missing. Yeah,
well, I love toolbox decks. Like, I love things where, because you play some sort of certain tutor where you look up things, you play like one-offs of these like cards that are just amazing in these niche scenarios and stuff. And like, this is a card that absolutely, because you're almost always going to use it super late game, so you're going to have access to a huge range of cards in your banish zone, right? So yeah, in your deck you can play one-offs of like different toolbox cards.
Well, there's even a scenario where with something like Art of War, you can choose to put an attack action in your banish zone off Art of War, which you then have access to in terms of choosing off this equipment.
Yeah.
Right. So you actually, it's not all random out of your graveyard. There are some ways to, now Matt's rereading a little bit. There's a lot going on.
Okay, you do have to target 3. I just thought for a second, I was like, hey, wait a minute. What if you only have 1 card in your banish zone? What if the only card in your banish zone is Bloodrush Bellow? Can you just pop this and grab it? But no, you can't. Yeah. So it is. Well, I'm pretty sure you can't. Yeah. Target 3 action cards. So I think you have to have a legal target.
Yeah. Any judges watching, let us know if we're wrong or not.
And I guess the other thing is like if you have like a pummel in your arsenal, for example, like one of the biggest things to do in FAB in a long time is like have pummel in your arsenal and wait to draw Command and Conquer. Well, with this you don't have to wait anymore. If you have pummel in your arsenal, you can just go and get something that's good with pummel. Select 3 things: true. Command and Conquer, another on hit like Nourishing Emptiness, for example, and like maybe a 3rd on hit, or just a super powerful card like Swing Big that if you pummel, that's 12 damage and more than enough anyway. It means you don't have to wait. You don't have to draw the pieces. Or one of the Dominators if you want to just kill them with a pummel. Yeah. Man, that's good. Just 10 dominate. Oh,
this card is so freaking spicy. Like, I haven't been a brute player traditionally, but I definitely know a good handful of people that are going to be really, really excited.
Yeah, I think it changes the class quite a lot, because like when you're playing against them, you can't go too low, and you have to worry about potentially a 4th Bloodrush Bellow turn, and then B, you also can't go too low because they've got like an on-board, on-hand grab or dominate whenever they want.
This is the direction that I want them to take Brute more, in terms of introducing the randomness aspect, but in a way that you still have some control over, right? The problem is when it's completely random, it's just never going to be as good as something that you've been able to build and know that's going to happen and control. Something like a Guardian deck that we've seen a ton of now, and I'm so glad we've finally booted Oldham to the curb. But like Brute, just with this, yes, it's random, but you can control it through deck building and gameplay, and I think that's how I want them. I want them to see LSS taking Brute design. Yeah. Right? Is like, yes, introduce randomness, but have a part of it that you're in control of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, and I guess there's only one other thing that we have left to do.
What?
Well, because I mean, there's 2 of us.
Oh.
And only one spoiler card. And only one spoiler card, and extended Cold War. Surely, in true Brute fashion, there's only one way that we can decide who takes the spoiler home. We roll it.
Well, luckily for you, I always have a dice handy. That's just how I roll.
Oh my gosh, no. All right. Okay.
All right. So we're going to roll off. No, actually, let's not just roll off highest takes it. First to get a 6 takes it, and I'll start. No,
we can be here forever. Okay, but high roll. It's got to be high roll.
I think first to get a 6, but we high roll for who gets to start.
I think high roll.
Yeah.
But you have to hit at least 2 action points, so you can't win it on a 2. That is.
Okay. All right.
You got to hit.
Okay. Are they going to be able to see the roll?
It's got to be high roll.
Are you going to be able to like zoom it in or something? Like,
trust me, they'll know who's won, because if you take it home, I'm going to be heartbroken.
I'll see it on your face. Okay. All right. So high roll for the spoiler card. 5. That's 2 action points. So you need a 6 to beat me here. This is meant to be if you win. This is absolutely meant to be.
Dear Blasphemous.
If you beat me on a 6 here, they're going to think it's set up. They're going to think we recorded this like 10 times.
If you wish me to come to the shadows.
Oh,
it's on the ground.
It's a 5! What?
Okay, we got the time.
Alright, so we've cracked the gambler's gloves here, right?
We've cracked the gambler's gloves. Let's roll again.
Alright.
Okay.
And that's what Brute does to you. That is 0 action points for you, my friend. And we are going to roll a 6! We didn't make it up, team. We got a 6. That is the fashion. Matt rolls sixes, and Matt gets the thing. That's it.
Unbelievable. The rich get richer.
That's fairy tale. That is fairy tale storybook. You rolled a 1, lost all your action points. I rolled a 6 and walked away with this. Okay, that I'm now going to be searching up either Blood Rush Bellow, Tome of Finder.
We get it. All right. Yeah, well, on that note, I probably won't be playing Brute given those rolling skills. But
I think I'm locked in.
It doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't. That is a spicy card, and I hope you guys are enjoying spoiler season. By the time this has come out, it will be day 3.
Yeah,
so we'll be well into it. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on the cards in the comments below, and in a tournament near you, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if so for those that were here just to watch the spoiler, that's the spoiler part of the video finishing now, and then we'll flick over to just talking a little bit about maybe what we're looking to play in the future, how things have been going lately, what's on the horizon and stuff with FAB, if we're going to get a Worlds this year.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Join us back on the couches soon.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Welcome back.
Yeah.
I had to step out of the room for a little bit and just to handle my loss after that brutal. In fact, get out of there, Dice.
Oh, what? That was my.
Yeah, the card can.
I still got the trophy.
I still like the card, but I don't want to see another Dice.
Oh.
No, to be fair, I don't think we could have concluded us. Dust Dawn spoiler season any better.
Yeah. With you rolling a 1 and me rolling a 6.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But yeah, we did think, obviously it's been a little while for various reasons.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. We ended with Channel Fireball. We were going to be launching with another partner, and things have just taken a little bit longer and stuff. So we're just hanging fire for now. So we're on FAB Unofficial. Your channel. Look at you go.
Yeah, and I mean this channel has been it's been quite cool to do.
Yeah.
Because I had shoulder surgery, which is another reason why a FAB with Matt didn't make its way here earlier. I've only just been able to start recording, or even had my arm out of a sling, so I'm pretty excited for that. I did miss Road to Nationals season and the whole XP window, which isn't great, so I won't be playing Nationals unless there's an LCQ or something, but I will be traveling down, so
yeah,
a lot going on there. But even before we get to Nationals, we've got, we thought only fitting, Matt's had a little bit of success on the calling circuit as of late.
With old Oldham?
With old Oldham, which brings us right into the first topic, I guess. Oldham no more.
Oldham no more. Oldham has hit living legend. So, I can't say I'm happy, but it was inevitable, right? Like it was definitely going to happen, and I had a hell of a lot of fun on the ride, on the way, on the way to it happening. So, I and the way that we developed that deck and stuff over time and kept playing it and stuff, I think that it got to a really cool place, and I'm super happy. Massive congratulations to Nick Butcher, that last event, and he won it. He went down with Oldham, and that was the final ride. So that was a great event, and just it's so deserved for Nick. He's worked on Oldham. Him and I have worked on Oldham together for, I don't know, well over a year.
Since it was released.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much since it was released, yeah. And
we've got FAB with Matt deck techs of various Oldham builds.
We've got multiple, that we're...
Lots of them still playing Art of War. Don't sleep.
Hey, Nick played Art of War in the winning deck.
Yeah, and Hayden didn't.
Yeah.
Who came out on top in the quarters? Who knows?
No. Yeah, well, that's right. Only 2 Oldham decks made top 4, and they both played Art of War.
That is true.
It's an acquired taste. Art of War.
I think ultimately Oldham was a really cool hero.
Yeah.
For a while.
For the entire time.
Well, I think we're sort of transitioning. I think in terms of the heroes that have been released.
You mean because it didn't have Frosthammer, so it was less cool? Oh, I get it. Yeah.
That is not what I thought, and I've had enough of those from you. What I was more meaning is, you almost didn't realise the absolute disrespect of your opponent sleeving up an Oldham deck when it was in a format that also had Chain and Prism and Starvo. And I think during that time, Oldham wasn't the quote-unquote boogeyman.
Yeah.
But then what happened is LSS have sort of learned from sets like Tails and heroes like Chain. Design sort of changed, and the sort of power level of other heroes really didn't keep up. And Oldham sort of managed to clear through that season. And then for me, as hands down, it was the best deck in the format for previous.
Yeah, well, Oldham and Lexi were, right?
Well,
like, it's hard to say that Oldham was definitely the best deck, but it was top two. Like, you know, I think hands down Oldham and Lexi were the best two decks this season. And I don't think you can really argue with that. But yeah, I think ever since Prism, ever since Prism Out, which was Oldham's biggest nightmare.
Dromite doesn't quite cut the mustard.
No, not in the same way. So ever since Prism Out, Oldham's been one of the top decks.
Yeah.
And it has been disrespected a lot throughout that time. You know, like there's a lot of the time where Oldham was seeing less than 10% of play and people just weren't giving it the respect that I feel he deserved.
Well, they did in the end.
They did in the end. Oldham got the respect in the end.
They did in the end. And I think, Nick put it quite well in an interview. I can't remember where.
Arsenal Pass, probably.
Arsenal Pass.
Yeah, that was a really good interview,
where he put it, where it's like, if you're playing Oldham, you present this situation where it's like, you don't need to know how to beat your opponent. They need to have a plan.
Right? They need to beat you.
Because you know at the end of the day, you're going to outlast them.
Yeah.
So, and for me, it was that I think created a little bit of tension. And I know some people didn't like. I didn't have too much of an issue against it. For me, it was just more, when I like slinging games on a kitchen table, I don't need it to take an hour 45 minutes. you know, I want a nice, easy, even give me a 45-minute CC game and I'll jump all over it. But when you're in the more casual setting, even something like Armory, right? I don't want my Armory game going to time. So I have no issue with Oldham in a competitive setting and people playing that deck. It's a competitive setting. You play to win. And I did feel like Oldham for a long time, allowed that.
Yeah.
Right? Nick showed it at the calling, right? Played Oldham. Yeah. Team Dragon Shield, obviously. You took out 3 nationals.
We took out 3 nationals with Oldham. And then even the event since, I've top-8'd the last 3 call-ins all with Oldham. Yeah. back to back with the same deck, like ever so slightly changed, but pretty much the exact same deck.
Well, Michael Feng
won the Pro Tour with Oldham, so
Pablo Pinto won the calling with Oldham. I think that Lexi's done really, really well, but Oldham has taken the wins. Yeah. When it gets to the untimed rounds, and Oldham has, as long as he wants to enact the game plan that he can. Yeah. To me, that's where I think it tips it over the edge.
Yeah, well, I mean, touching on that's actually a good one because I think Oldham plays differently in top 8 than it plays in Swiss as well. And I think that that's something people don't quite realise as well. Is like if you get into untimed games, it's exactly as Nick said. They have to have a plan. They have to be able to beat you. You don't have to be able to end the game before the clock anymore, right? So like that was one of Oldham's kind of more annoying things is like you can't play a super drawn out game because you're against the clock, right? But if the clock's removed, then you can play a super drawn out game. So you can pivot your game plan completely and utterly around theirs, right? And so if they want to play a little bit more value against you, then cool, we'll just go longer. You'll run out of value, And I think it's super powerful, and I think that's a big reason that Oldham wins a lot of the tournaments that it top 8s.
Yeah. Well, I believe Michael Feng was the only Oldham in that top 8, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, I think he was the only Oldham that top 8 of the Pro Tour.
And there's some really good games. Obviously, the calling where you top 4 and Nick won. The Singapore calling, some really cool games. Definitely go check out the coverage if you feel like watching some Oldham. Yeah. But also some of Michael's top 8 games of the Pro Tour are really, really cool. Specifically that, I believe it was the semi-final Dromai matchup. I found really, really interesting.
Okay, the finals was Dromai as well, right?
Oh yeah, finals was Dromai,
cool,
which is also really good. Although a bit of a different game plan. I think it was a little bit more aggressive. But Get out of here, Oldham. Gone. No more. As of, I guess, 2 weeks. It feels like Dusk Till Dawn is happening
now because we're in the middle of spoiler season.
But technically it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, but all the major events are done with. The Roll of Honour, I guess, will be published soon up on Oldham's hero page on the FAB website. But yeah, no more. So it'll be interesting to see which hero sort of fills that void, I guess, moving forward. But there's also a lot of other stuff to talk about, or not talk about, depending on how you are feeling about it in upcoming Premier play.
What's that?
Worlds, I assume it's happening.
Oh, I don't know. Is there a Worlds? Because they haven't announced one.
Yeah. It's. I feel for them. There is clearly something going on behind the scenes that, whether it's a venue falling through, or I don't even know. There could be a laundry list of reasons why, but obviously we've got to know, and you all have got to realise that obviously LSS would have loved to have announced Worlds by now. They're not choosing. They don't have it secretly planned and are keeping it from us. No.
I mean, I was at LSS today, and the staff were like, "Yeah, we know." Like, I was trying to see if I could poke it out of one of them. Like, when's Worlds? I need a plan. Like, they're like, "We know. I swear it's coming." Like, really
subtle
soon.
Brag. Yeah. Look at this subtle. I was at LSS. I just need coffee with James.
I didn't have coffee with James today.
But no, we got to. It is a shame that Worlds hasn't been announced and we don't have like the venue and know where it's being held and all of that sort of stuff. Because travel is an absolute nightmare internationally right now, just in terms of it on a cost front, and work-wise is.
It's already been really hard for us, eh? Like, we're like, if it ends up on this date, I don't know if we can, or if it ends up here, it's like it's going to cause some trouble.
Well, I'm still rolling the dice. My wife and
I roll ones, so.
Yeah, well, I roll ones, actually, so that's not a good thing. But my wife and I are expecting, as you know. And
you just announced it on the channel. There we go.
On the channel, so congratulations to me.
Yeah, congratulations, Aaron.
But
it's really cool, though.
Yeah, it is really cool. I'm really excited. But I've been given the word. The due date is 3rd of December. Yeah. And I have up to the 3-week mark. I need to be back in New Zealand and in the country 3 weeks before that due date. So if it somehow manages to be that first weekend of November, the one that sort of crossover from October, maybe there's
you can do it
of hope, as long as like.
I think the second week is still within 3, right? Of the 3rd of.
Probably.
Maybe? I don't know.
Probably. Maybe.
Depends where December falls.
I've got to be
where
back.
November falls.
And the big thing for us is...
it's true. It takes 2 days to get back. Yeah. And you lose a day.
We live in the future. We had to do some serious math when working out our spoiler card video, because it's like... it used to be NZT that they gave it to us, so it was like New Zealand time, so it's easy because we're like, we'll just look at our watch. But we had to freaking Google what time that this video was able to go live to make sure we didn't secretly release it early in amongst all the light cards. But hopefully I'm excited to find out where Worlds is, and even if I can't make it, I heard great things from Baltimore, the organisation, from that event, and the event itself and how it ran, and every aspect of it seemed amazing, and I really do think it feels like they've put a huge focus on that. LSS.
They've massively stepped up. Organised players are such a huge... Even the Singapore event, even the last call-in I was at, you can feel that there's so much more that's going into things behind the scenes now. Yeah. They're thinking about so many more small, minute details, and it's making an incredible experience for the players. So I think it's just gotten better and better throughout the Pro Tours. I mean, we've only had a few so far. It's been 3 Pro Tours in a world so far or whatever, but you can see that Baltimore was drastically better than the events before it. So and the last couple of call-ins I've played have been calling in Baltimore, calling in Singapore, been drastically better than the call-ins before it as well. So I think that we're really on the up and up on that one.
I'm getting my calendar out because I'm making a formal request to LSS. Weekend of October 28th and 29th. It would be awesome to sneak in an Australian calling.
Oh, yeah.
That would be spicy too.
Yeah.
That'd be spicy.
Well, I think there has been murmurs that an Australian calling's on the cards. I think James said to somebody at Baltimore, somebody was saying that James told them that there is an Australian calling before Worlds. So that might line up to your dates. You never know.
Hopefully.
That's your wish list.
Yeah. So. Obviously, there's a lot of murmurs that go around in the PCG space. So who knows what is true? But hopefully, it would be really, really cool. And obviously, we had another teams event.
Yep.
At the Battle Hardened, where an all Wolfpack final, I guess, like
absolute powerhouse
Brody
final.
Spurlock will not be stopped. That man is an absolute battle hardened fiend.
Yeah, we just won another one as well.
Yeah.
Just to put on his list.
Yeah. How about sharing the PTIs? All right. How about sharing the PTIs? But no, I'm really excited for Premier Play moving forward, and I know it's a ways off yet, but I know there was a lot of talk. There's only one Pro Tour, one Worlds.
Yeah.
But obviously they're putting a lot more effort into this, and I'm really excited for what we're going to see next year as well.
Another really cool thing that will happen at Worlds, PCG will be releasing the FAB Slab.
I actually did see, now I don't work for PCG, I work for another company, but Rob and Matt are in the same office.
Both companies are in the same office, so we all work together.
So I did see a sneaky, what would you call it? No, it's not like it was an actual FAB Slab, but it wasn't like the cast that I've been seeing. It was an actual graded card.
It was an actual FAB Slab. So it was our first test run of the FAB Slab.
Test run, we'll call it that.
Yeah. So they arrived this week, and the FAB Slab, we have gone through countless changes with this mold. Like, we have done so many different molds for this and made so many changes, and I'm really, really excited to say we're pretty much there. We're doing one minor tweak to it now, but we're not even going to need to get another test run or something.
This back-end stuff from the FAB Slab you guys have been going through is a reason why I'm glad I'm not involved in the day-to-day of PCG. Honestly, it's looked like an absolute nightmare to try and get that thing perfect.
It's been really cool though. It's definitely an experience. It's been a big, important life experience and stuff like designing something from scratch, right? Like,
look, we're not on Channel Fireball or Star City or anything like that. We're on the FAB Unofficial channel. You can tell us what you really mean, because we know anytime
it's been a headache, but it has been cool.
Refers to something as a real life experience. There was some inner hurt and pain that went on.
Well, it's just like every time you make a change, like when you're designing something, like obviously you have to think about all of the different things, even from how to encapsulate it, how to open it up afterwards or whatever, like if you ever need to reslab things, etc. Like, there's so many little minute details that go into it, like the way that the label's going to sit, like how, if the card warps or forms in many years to come, will that change anything?
Yeah, well, that's key, right? Because obviously the whole purpose of slabbing a card, if you're going to use that term, is because it's something that you want graded. It's something that you want to be sort of like almost like a time
protect forever. Well, it is
forever, and you're grading it.
We don't want the card to ever change inside the slab.
Yes. But obviously the FAB Slab, it's like a dual purpose, right? It was sort of aimed at so you can play with the card still, especially with the way that Flesh and Blood is and starting the game with heroes and equipment. It lends itself.
That's the whole point of it.
Well.
So just like every time we've made a change, like we have to do a new mold, like they have to do more samples and stuff, so like every time it goes back, it takes weeks to build a new mold, right? So the factory has to build a new mold, that takes weeks, and then it has to fit in a test sample into the print schedule or whatever, so you have to allow a couple weeks for that, then it has to be sent to New Zealand, and then we have to
bloody New Zealand, so far away from everything.
So every single change takes 2 months, and we've had 9 changes.
Well, also,
obviously.
You have to point out, one of the it's not just, it doesn't, obviously it was designed in terms of around Flesh and Blood, right, in terms of playability, but also it is a service that I assume you guys are going to offer for Pokemon cards and all of the other stuff too, right? So you've got to think PCG still has to operate as a business. I know you guys want your FAB Slabs and give it to me now, right? But you can't be putting out a product that's not ready.
No. We're absolutely determined to get a perfect product here. Get something that we're really, really proud to put out. If we put out something and it just doesn't meet expectations, it's like we've spent all of this time and money and focus and pressure on doing this all for nothing, right? I need to be really, really proud of what I'm putting out, and I am now. So I think this is really cool. I am really proud of what we've designed.
But even before Worlds, because obviously FAB Slab aside, you guys do have another pretty cool PCG event coming up in a couple of weeks. I don't know.
What's that one?
Well, I know that Rob's making the trip, but doesn't PCG
Germany?
Yes, PCG Germany.
PCG Germany is opening just in a few weeks, so it'll open about a week after Birmingham.
Sorry, I knew that. I honestly didn't. I said that and I didn't check with that before.
If you were allowed to announce it,
I mentioned that. So
No, I have actually said that in other places as well. So I think that is out there. I don't think we've made an official announcement about it, but the word is out there. So so PCG Germany, it's going to open like a week after Birmingham. So I'm actually going to go to the qual in Birmingham now, because I have to be over there for PCG Germany anyway. So I'm going to play the qual in and then whip over to Germany, and then we do the full staff training and open that office and stuff. And really that one's been in the works for almost 6 months now. So and we've completely even from a construction standpoint, redesigned the facility for it. It's awesome. Really cool. So we're doing that in partnership with White Rabbit Gaming, which is like a local game store, really, really top-notch local game store in Germany.
And it's both you and Rob heading over?
Yeah, both Rob and I head over.
I would recommend, obviously you guys know Matt, we've done a bunch of FAB with Matt, you've probably seen him at events as well. If you get an opportunity to say hi to Rob, definitely do. Matt's business partner, and he is a freaking cool guy as well to have a chat to, and super passionate about the TCG industry and all sorts of things involved. So
he'll
say hello to the PCG crew.
Sure. You'll be able to find him at the PCG booth in Birmingham if they're there. Whereas I'll be leaving him there to do all the work while I go and play cards.
Well, this is it, because another person, and I'm putting the pressure on you, but because another person said that they're officially going to Birmingham in Mr. Pablo Pintor, right? So I want that throwdown on camera.
Hey! The last throw, we had a throwdown. I had a throwdown versus Pablo, and just saying I won it.
But honestly, at premiere event
on stream at a pro tour,
if the game happened off camera, did it really happen?
No, it was on camera.
Was it?
Yeah, it was round 1 feature match of Worlds last year. I played against Pablo.
Ooh, okay. I was.
And it was a mirror match as well.
I was still playing it during round 1, so that's probably why I missed it. But okay, cool. But no, it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to watching the coverage for Birmingham as well, because Dusk will dawn. People will have a couple of weeks running from that, so it's going to be friggin' sick to see some of the heroes and builds and decks and brews that get played at that event. I think I always love a whole new fresh canvas, new meta game, and it really Dusk Till Dawn is a huge set.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to see all those decks, but you're not going to build any of them anyway. You're just going to brew some crazy, silly prism thing or whatever, right? I know you.
But the first thing I always start, how can I get lots of tomes into a deck? Which it could have been Brew until the freaking abandoned me on that final dice roll. So now, we've got to move over. But obviously Prism is something I have my eye on. Yeah. We did a deck tech for an old Prism deck that I played in a Road to National season, even on a FAB with Matt, I think. But it was pre-Everfest. It was Everfest that gave us the blue auras, right? Yeah. So I was playing Prism before it was even good.
It was still good.
Yeah, it was still good. But back when Chain had Seeds of Agony.
Back when it was silly to play Prism.
So I love me some Prism, but also Vincent looks super, super cool. And I mean, given this spoiler card, I do joke about giving up on the Brute class, but if this is the sort of caliber of Shadow Brute card you're going to get in Dusk Till Dawn, then hey, maybe I will be giving it a whirl. We never know.
I mean, for me, I feel like the heroes I'm most likely to play is probably Livia and Dash. Like, I do think that I might actually, like you get to joke around a lot about it, but I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted for Livia. I'm very tempted for Shadow
This is
Fruit.
off
I
one
do think.
card, guys. This is a man of hot.
Oh, no.
He's got 257 cards to go. I don't know how big Dust was.
No, but I've been close to Brute for a lot of times over the years, and I've thought, it just needs a little bit more. It just needs a little bit more. So I do think that this could be the little bit more that it needs, and certainly if we get another really good Majestic that this can target as well, then that could put me over the line. Otherwise, I got my old faithful Dash. I'll come back to her, and
counter shoot,
counter shoot, mate.
Counter shoot. Yeah, I mean, Dash is an interesting one. The smallest card pool. I wouldn't be surprised if Dash hasn't been kicking around in any of the lore that I know of for Dusk Till Dawn, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see no Mechanologist cards in this format. This is supposed to be on the Monarch storyline, and Dash is often...
Yeah, I kind of feel like if we had Dash cards, they might have given us a Dash spoiler, so...
True.
Like Mechanologist spoiler, maybe? I don't know, because we have had Mechanologist spoilers in the past. We had Plasma Purifier, we had... oh man, that's bad. I can't even remember the name of the other Dash spoiler. We had the item that means they can't play 2 non-attack actions in a turn.
Yeah, and what's the name of the one that prevents 1?
Yeah, I don't remember that either. Those items never saw play.
Never saw play. So who the heck knows?
Yeah.
Although Runeblade's coming back in, so maybe that card we can't remember. It could be playable again, but probably not.
Just give Dash something. Come on.
It's going to be interesting. Like, I mean, I've spoiled Raiden. That's not a card I've thrown down with much either, so hopefully...
Hey, you spoiled Reinforce the Line. That's been seeing a little bit of play lately. Yeah.
Spicy. I would say, check out my old Monarch spoiler video.
Oh, no, don't give him the satisfaction, please don't.
Let me know. Certain someone makes a brief appearance, let me know if you can spot him.
You're the worst.
This guy hard claims that spoiler video was the worst, which, to be honest, it probably was.
You didn't say anything about the card. It is not worth your time watching. I'm sorry.
Braveheart monologues. What can I say? It's very good.
But yeah, Fab exciting. We got nationals coming up. Worlds. I'm sure there will be one. I'm sure they'll announce it shortly, and there will be a Worlds. But yeah, I think just nationals is really cool, and there's going to be Monarch draft as well. We're both going to go play a Monarch draft tonight.
Yes.
So
I've been really, really enjoying it. Even though we live in New Zealand and got to draft Monarch back when it first released, I feel like just the way that we approach Flesh and Blood in terms of a game, evaluate cards, all sorts of different stuff. It's felt super fresh.
Yeah. So I still stand by Monarch's my favourite draft format. And I said that from back in the day, and I still believe that today, even through these amazing draft formats like Uprising and Outsiders that they've made.
Well, Outsiders has this claim is really good, and I do think it was. I enjoyed Outsiders. I definitely enjoyed it. But for me,
it was definitely better than Uprising. Yeah.
Yes, but moving from Outsiders to Monarch, I do agree. I still really like the options of being able to commit early or stay open through generic or semi-open and just move into shadow or light and do the sort of dance.
I kid you not, in a draft that I did last week, I chose my hero at the end of pack 2. What other draft format can you do that?
And you went 1-2.
No. I went 2-1. I lost the finals of that. But my deck was very good, legitimately good. Really but I chose my hero at the end of pack 2. I was still teetering between between Brute and Runeblade, and chose at the end of pack 2. So what other format can you do that? That's really cool. I don't recommend doing that. Generally, you do want to choose your hero a lot earlier, but just the way those packs worked and the cards that I had in the generics and stuff allowed me to stay open. Yeah,
and I'm just happy that it was a format we've obviously really enjoyed, even revisiting. And at the time Monarch originally released, there wasn't nearly as many players as there are now. So now everybody gets to experience in a competitive setting as well as like sort of an armory level as well. So yeah, there's going to be a lot going on, and in about 48 hours we're going to have a whole lot more to talk about, obviously, as dusk till dawn. Spoiler season starts / concludes. It's pretty condensed. I think it's mostly going to all come out in the space of 3 days, so we'll have a bit of lead up, and we will definitely be doing another Fab with Matt sooner rather than later.
If you enjoyed the Fab with Matt we did on the draft, where we talked through the draft, let us know in the comments, because maybe we'll do a Monarch one. If that's what people want, if you guys would like us to record a Monarch draft and then talk through the picks and stuff like that, we can do that for the next Fab with Matt.
Yeah, definitely.
So let us know.
All right. And I guess on that note, we'll leave you guys, and until next time.
Cool. Cheers, guys.
Catch you then.